Sagittarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-June 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's happening for the lovely Sagittarius collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous, my friends. Let's get it going, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got for Saggy here? Energies, messages, insights for mid-June. We're towards the tail end of Gemini season. Let's see where the energies stand for you. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot, just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Saggy. Please, my guides and spirit team, what energies, what messages? Give us all the good stuff here. Okay, cool. So I feel like I got this in another one of the fire sign readings. It's all about forward focus, forward movement, lots of action. I think it did show up in the Leo reading. So it doesn't surprise me that this would also show up in Saggy. All the fire signs are somewhat similar in one way or another. I do like this. There's good energy around trips and traveling. So there's a lot for us to really look into there. But before we do, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk a little bit more in depth about this card. So if you look at the imagery here, we have this lady. She's kind of dressed up like a pilot. There's a ship. There's all these birds. Various things within this photo are moving forward. They're moving in the same direction too. So it's like, all right, everyone's on board. Everyone's moving in the right spot. Now, for a portion of you, you might just have your eyes on the future. All right, and I know in modern spirituality, we're told to always stay present, stay grounded, which I do believe is true. But there are some times where you need to strategize, plan things, and look towards the future to try to plan, right? The universe is always going to throw curveballs. But to me, essentially, this is a card of making moves, taking action. So there could be a lot of fire burning within you in this time, Sagittarius. Just know that. And that could be a very good thing, specifically for a fire sign. Another thing, I already mentioned it a little bit earlier. When I see this card, there's great energy around taking trips, traveling, shaking things up. So if you're feeling like things have been a little monotonous, or you're feeling trapped down by anything, Spirit's telling, hey, shake it up a little bit, Sag. Nothing wrong with that. But let's just leave that where it is. Let's get into tarot. And I always say this first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. Let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. So let's shuffle it up one time. What do we got here for my Saggy friends in mid-June? And while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. Getting lovely energy for you last week, and the reading was titled An Unexpected Victory. And I always say victories, wins, they come in all different shapes and sizes, whether it's in the form of the monetary or interpersonal connections. Maybe some of you had some really good days. That energy could still bleed over for a couple weeks. So I was really liking what I was picking up for you last week. So let's see what we have for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid. It's never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or someone that you're linked to. Let's get it going. 3 for my Saggy friends, please. What do we got in mid-June for my good friends? What do we got here? Thank you. Okay. So we do have the 6 of Cups in position number 1. So you're getting a lot of similarities to both the fire signs now, because I do believe that this card showed up in the Aries read. Okay, it showed up in the Aries read in the exact same spot. Let's get a couple more before we talk on it too much. There could be some sort of link to the past there. That could represent connections, all that good stuff. Okay, we do have the 5 of Cups right here in the center. Okay, someone could be upset by something, that's for sure. Let's get one more out here, and we'll really piece this together. What do we got here for Saggy? Okay, so you're going to have a bonus, and really making sense with the energies right now, because it makes sense to me with the way they're all coming out and landing. So we have the Knight of Wands right there on the back end, and as your bonus we have the 10 of Swords. Dun dun dun. Don't get too nervous about that, right? It's just an energy, and it's a bonus, so another little footnote there. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, and we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first glance, similar to the Aries reading once again. You have the Six of Cups. They also had another cup here, so there's a lot of water energy. Sad, you just know in this time there might be a lot going on internally. You might be feeling things deeper than you normally do. There could be a little bit of sadness about the past, or we're going to deconstruct this all because I feel like it's very layered and very complex, because we have a card that could represent you, a card of the past, a card of someone in their feelings. We have a card of endings. So there's like a lot of things happening. So let's go through one by one and really start to build this out. Position number one, the Six of Cups. Beautiful energy, beautiful card. So you see these two children, and they're sharing the cups with each other. For a big portion of you, this could represent a very strong soul tie partnership, someone that you care deeply for, and they care for you just as much when this card is here. It doesn't always represent those things, but to me, this is my biggest card in the whole entire deck of history, of things that have already happened. So whether this is people that you have a ton of history with, things from the past. So for a lot of Saggies, you might be taking trips down memory lane. And I know earlier in the reading, I saw something about the future focus. Now we have a card of the past. So it's like, all right, we're looking to the future, but we're looking to the past. Hopefully it's not something repeating itself. And we'll see when we get further into the reading for sure. Again, this is a beautiful energy on its face, and as with all cards, there's positive and challenge linked to it. So whether this is somebody that's sad about something that's happened, especially with the Five of Cups right next to it, or maybe somebody possibly wanting to relive something, who knows how it's all going to play out. Moving to the center, we have the Five of Cups, another intense emotional type of card here. Okay, because in divination, the water energy, it's very deep. The waters run deep, and you see this individual, our gothic friend, our emo friend, all dressed in black, doesn't look too happy. The cups are spilled and they're looking off into the distance. The one thing I love about this card is it's not a finality attached to it. This isn't like Final Destination. It's halfway through the suit. There's still buildings back there. There's still cups that are standing up. So it's like not a complete and total loss, but this energy is on a spectrum. So for some Saggies, there might be some days where you're going through it a little bit. You might just not be feeling 100%. You might feel a little gloomy, and that's okay. Because as humans, we do experience the whole spectrum of emotion. So when I see this, it's like, all right, well, be prepared. Like you might be a little down about something. So we'll see how it all goes. Now, the Five of Cups, it could also be pretty severe too, right? It could be someone that's like very, very upset. So I want to see, not saying it's you necessarily, because we do have a card of you coming up. We'll play it all by ear as we move along, because I don't want to invest too much energy into it. Of course, it could be a warning of some sort, especially linking to emotions. So we'll see how it all plays. Now, on to the very back end, we do have the Knight of Wands. So again, Sagittarius energy. It could be an Aries, could be a Leo. And I've already told you, I've been seeing similarities in all the different fire signs this week. The Knight of Wands is similar to that very first Oracle card we saw, where it's about, let's take action, let's move, let's get this thing going forward, no stopping. So it's a very, very fast mover, and it's about taking action. Another thing with this Knight of Wands, if it's not representing how you feel or something that you're thinking or feeling, this card to me could sometimes be cutting loose, letting loose. It's a bit of a party animal sometimes as well, but it is a messenger. Similar to the pages, the Knight of Wands can also be a messenger. So whether this is a conversation, a talk that needs to be had, or one that will be had, just keep that in mind. Now, as we get to the very back end of this spread, we have as a bonus card the Ten of Swords. If you know anything about tarot, you know this isn't really a pleasant type of energy. It can represent pain. So whether it's like the physical vessel, whether it is emotional pain, this could represent endings, and it's usually pretty tough to handle, tough to deal with. So when this shows up as a footnote, and we have a card of the past, and we have someone in their feelings here, there could be something not so nice that you're looking back on. Okay, or somebody you were connected to looking back and they're feeling some type of way, even if some time has elapsed. Okay, because that Ten of Swords can represent loss. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Saggy. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here from my Saggy friends. Let's see what's happening. Guides and Spirit team, what's going on? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Six of Cups. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Saggy, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Six of Cups. Why is that Six of Cups here? Please. Thank you. 10 of Cups. Yeah, something that felt great, felt solid, something that really made you happy. That's what this could be showing, really. I mean, the 10 of Pentacles is everything. Now, for a portion of you, this could really be pointing, and I know everyone watches for different reasons, but when I see the 6 of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles, this could either be someone that is literally family or was like family showing up here in the first portion of your spread. So take that and incorporate it however you want. So whether that be like a friend or a personal connection, it's like this person was so close, it's like daily, like family kind of energy. Okay, because we do have those cards connecting. Now, the 10 of Pentacles to me is everything. It's very solid. It's very stable. It's really good. So I do see somebody reflecting back on the good times, thinking back when things were good, things weren't so rough, things were going much smoother in this time. That's what I'm seeing. Now, we often tend, most people, I'm not saying everybody, that we could look back on the past with rose-colored glasses. And that's part of what I'm picking up here in the front, like where somebody's not looking at like trials and tribulations. They're trying to remember the good times. They're looking back on the good times. Now, another thing I will say for a portion of you, I saw it in other fire signs as well, there is a possibility of something reemerging or returning. Okay, like when I see the 6 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles, like this is a happy return of some sort. So I feel like it's one or the other. Either it's something you're wanting to return or swing back around, very possibly could, or for a big portion of you just looking back on the good times. Okay, let's move over to the 5 of Cups. Let's see what's happening here. There's a lot of emotion here. There's a lot of feeling. So let's go in on that 5 of Cups. Okay, thank you. So why is the 5 of Cups here? And this is layered. Yep. Okay. All right, this is someone that, when I see the Hermit in the upright underneath this 5 of Cups, this is prototypically the energy of someone who's like, listen, I'm always going to show this. I'm not going to show this side of me. So we could be looking at somebody who is absolutely upset, or in their feelings. Once again, they're feeling really strong feelings, really strong emotions, and they could be hurting, but it's like they'll never show it for whatever reason. It's like whether they don't want to be a drag, or whether they just don't want to bring people down, or it's like this person will never show their true intentions about something, where it's like, no, I always have to be bright. I always have to be positive. And I just want to say that everybody goes through this whole gamut of feelings and emotions, like the good and the rough. So let's talk about it a little more in depth, because I'm picking up more things here. So we have the Hermit, could be Virgo energy if you're connected to one. And the Hermit is a withdrawn, pulled back type of energy. So some of you might literally be in hermit mode. Some of you could be in a time of recovery in this time as well. So when I see the 5 of Cups with the Hermit, it's like, all right, well, things will eventually get back to normal. I just need a second. I need to take a breath. I need a break of some sort. Like that's kind of what this is giving me. So whether this is for the physical body, whether this is for the emotional state, or just life in general, some of you just might need a rest or a break when I see this Hermit. For a portion of you, it could be the fact that you aren't talking to or can't talk to somebody for whatever reason. That is quite upsetting. Okay? And I'm just picking up little notes of different emotions here as we move along. I think we'll get more of an idea when we get to that Knight of Wands, because that's the card that could represent you. But it's like we have this duality happening in your reading this week, where it's like, yeah, we're looking back on the good times, remembering good things, rose-colored glasses. We're not talking about the bad. We're not talking about the struggle. We're not talking about the rough or the problems, okay? So let's move over to the Knight of Wands. Interesting how dualistic this is, okay? And I'm an optimistic person in general myself. I always like to look at the good things, the silver linings, of course. But I mean, sometimes other things need to be addressed or acknowledged as well. Let's see why that Knight of Wands is here. And then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow card. So why is this Knight of Wands in the mix? Thank you. Okay. Yeah. So we do have the 9 of Swords in reverse underneath this Knight of Wands. And I do feel like this is good. This is a good resolution. And if any of you are going through like an issue or a problem right now, it does feel more of like a speed bump here. So for a big chunk of you, the way this energy flows throughout the whole reading is like we have good, then we have a rough patch, and then we have back to good. So there could be a situation or something in your life that returns back to some sense of normalcy, which is really good. And I like that, because I don't like when certain individuals, they go through a trying time, or they go through problems, and it's like everything just goes downhill perpetually after that. That's not what this is giving to me. Now, the Nine of Swords in the upright, it would be rough. It could represent sleep issues. It could represent anxiety, stress, nervousness. And with the energy we have here of someone in their feelings, of course, I just have to say again, maybe there is someone you're connected to where mentally they're overwhelmed, or mentally they're going through something. They're stressed, they're anxious, they're nervous. That could still be very strong in this energy here. So just keep that in mind. But when I see this Nine of Swords in reverse under a card that represents you, it's like, okay, things are going to get back to normal. Things are going to improve. Things are going to get better, back to some sort of normalcy. Okay, so whether this is just how something used to be, or whether this is literally an individual, it all really depends. But there is a trying time in the center. That's what I'm seeing. It doesn't feel like a test to me, but it does feel like a period of time where it's like, okay, things are really good. Now they're not, but things will get better and return back. Let's go through and do a quick recap here, because I will say this, Saggy, your reading was a little peculiar this week, so you might have an interesting week for sure. But please, let's go through before the shadow. Position number one, we have the Six of Cups with the Ten of Pentacles. Now, for a lot of you, this could be highlighting someone that either is family or was so close that they felt like family here. I see a lot of rose-colored glasses, looking back at the good things, looking back at the positives, which could be a good thing. Once again, I'm an optimist myself, but sometimes we need a more balanced viewpoint of how things are going and what's the real deal. Moving to the center, we get this balance coming in, and you know life is all about balance: the ebbs, the flows, the dark, the light, the masculine, the feminine, the good times and the rough. The Five of Cups with the Hermit. Now, I did say some of you might be going through a period of time where you're in hermit mode. You're retracting your energy, you're pulling it back. I did say this to me feels like somebody is in a state of recovery and they're just going through something, and they don't want to be around many people while they're going through it for whatever reason. It just, to me, it feels like recovery. So of course it could be stress, anxious, nervous, or even physical for some people. It's like, okay, well, no, I want to look good, sound good. I don't want people to be brought down by my presence. Moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Wands with the Nine of Swords in reverse. Lovely type of vibe. So I already told you about the high strong energy of someone in their feelers, but to me this is something returning back to normal or getting better, which is really nice. And again, this isn't like Ten of Swords, that's an ending that there's a finality to it. The Five of Cups is not. So I do feel there is a bump in the road. There could be an issue or a problem that it's kind of just like a roadblock that needs to be gotten over. So we're looking okay. Please take a screenshot of that. Let's see what's in the shadows. I mean, yeah, if you want to look into it further, please be my guest. But let's shuffle it up one time here. What do we got in the shadows for my Saggy friends? Please. Totally different energy than last week, that's for sure. And yes, I always like to pull one shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing too. Okay, let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put it in the comments down below. There will be a link there. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? What do we got? Okay, thank you. All right, so we have a possible individual showing up here for you, and it is the Queen of Swords herself. Now, for a portion of you, might be connected to an air sign whenever the Queen of Swords is here, and she is not the softest type of energy. Generally, she's very logical. She sees the truth of things, very honest, straightforward. In this time, you might be stepping into Queen of Swords mode. Like, I'm not playing games. I'm not messing around when this is here. It's very analytical. It could also represent strategy and planning. Okay, and we kind of saw that very, very early on in the read that we had similar energy. But something to watch out for is that sometimes she could be a little bit cold. So if this was somebody that you were having dealings with and they were like ice cold, or they were even hurtful in the things they said and how they acted, the Queen of Swords in the shadows is saying you're still affected by this, or you could be, at least energetically. But if this is an energy you're stepping into where you see something for what it is, you see it clearly, and it's like, okay, like, yeah, no rose-colored glasses here, I know what it is, and that's a good thing in the shadows, right? It's clearing away the mystery. So yeah, Saggy, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give the details. The June subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, my digital calendar is open on mastermetaphysics.com, so go ahead and check that out. And if you got your name in for the May subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced after this weekend's readings. But for the June subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Gilded Tarot Royale. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, that, it's two simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed, and second, let me know down in the comments if you could snap your fingers and visit anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.